Ok. Calma Beppe. Calma Beppe. Calma Beppe. Calma Beppe. No, because the news that just came is just incredible. You know it. I decided, and it was totally conscious, to not speak about Paul Pogba until we had some official news, because all the rumors here, the rumors there, what will happen with Pogba, what about his salary, will he play again, what about the court, what about the trial, what about the verdict. I said, calma, we don't know. We don't have to get moved about these kind of rumors, because rumors we never know. And spending time focusing on players that at the moment are not part of Juventus Football Club makes totally no sense. I am a weak person when we are speaking about Paul Labil Pogba. You know it. I have always been a weak person speaking about Paul Pogba because I have a soft spot for Paul when we are speaking about Paul. Well, there is a breaking news. And then we will try to develop and try to understand, because I go totally crazy. I go really totally crazy. What is the news? Reported by a guy first that wrote on Mail Sport. So it's a news with some consistency. It's not a rumor anymore. Reported, and that's why I waited until 1 minute ago, that Fabrizio Romano, the Here We Go guy, was reporting as well. Paul Pogba will be back in action in 2025. Confirmed. His 4 years drug ban has been reduced to 18 months, which means that he can start training again with Juventus Football Club in January, to be on the field playing official matches again in the month of March. What do we know at the moment? That Paul Pogba has still a contract with Juventus Football Club. A really huge salary that has temporarily been frozen, reduced to the minimum salary that a player, a member of the staff, can earn at Juve, €2,000 gross salary per month, which is actually saving a lot of salary for Juve, because they were not counting on him last season when the ban was applied. You know that Pogba never gave up. He always claimed his innocence, saying, not me, or not conscious, or whatever. I don't know how he defended himself. He was waiting for the verdict. He never gave up. He didn't accept to find that plea deal. Do you remember? Because sometimes you can take a plea deal, which would reduce a lot, but in a way, some people are seeing it as you admitted it because you took a plea deal, while some other people are taking a plea deal because they know that they will probably not win it, even if they are innocent. He said, I don't care about the plea deal. If you give me 4 years of ban, give it to me. I will continue to fight with my lawyers to show that I'm innocent. I don't know how. I don't know the details because they are not reported at the moment, but apparently Paul Pogba, 4 years went to 18 months, which means, again, I repeat, that in January, because he still has a contract with Juventus Football Club, is a player of Juve and could potentially start training again in January 2025, to be back on the field in March 2025. What does that mean? That in January, potentially, if he doesn't find an agreement with Juve, if nothing is spoken, he's again a Juve player. He's again a bianconero. He's again a guy that can wear a shirt. Not the number 10 anymore, because that number 10 went to the shoulders of Kenan Yildiz. Not the number 6 that he was wearing when he was a Juve player, because these are on the shoulders of Capitano Danilo, but with another number that has at the moment not been registered yet. But he could potentially be a bianconero, except, of course, if internally they find a solution to say, we break the contract and you can go wherever you want for free to a team in Saudi Arabia or in Premier League or whatever, staying in Italy to go with another team. If they break the contract from both parties, they agree, then he's not a Juve player anymore. But if these discussions are not finding place, Paul Pogba is a Juve player. Then you will tell me, Beppe, we made so many investment in the midfield. What if it comes back? Well, first of all, the season 24-25, from the moment that he will be able to play a single game or a few minutes of a game, we are speaking about March. We are in the beginning of October. We are speaking about November, December, January, February, starting in March, where then you have March, April, May, 3 months. Club World Cup, which is a really huge important. But the thing is that Juventus, they made a total different strategy in lowering the cost of salary of a lot of players, investing on new players that are the new face of Juventus, changing totally the midfield with Koopmeiners, Douglas Luiz, Kefren Thuram, and we are speaking at the moment about one that is starting every game, but we are expecting a bit more. Koopmeiners, about two players that still need to find their form and fitting in a new Juve of Thiago Motta. And on top of that, you have a Locatelli that until today is a new Manuel Locatelli, not called up, by the way, again by Spalletti. I don't understand it, but that's another discussion. Fagioli that showed us glimpses of Modric, Pirlo, whatever you want, without exaggerating. A really fantastic, beautiful Fagioli. Weston McKennie that every single summer is out of the club and then he comes and he's a starter at Juve, like last year. So we have abundance. We have a lot of midfielders. Where we miss, of course, is in the back, is up front, is probably on the offensive wingers. Maybe if you want a bit more on the fullbacks. But in the midfield, we have a lot. Again, it's not really a problem, honestly. If you're speaking about quantity for now, because he will not be back, it's not a problem for January because only him in training session will not make the difference for the games. Not even for February. Could potentially be a luxury problem. A luxury problem in March if the company decides to keep him and to give him also playing time, because that's also the question mark. In March, when we are supposed to have a Kefren Thuram, a Douglas Luiz, a Koopmeiners, plus the Italian guys, plus the Weston McKennie that are running at full regime, that understood everything for Thiago Motta. Does it make sense to still go and make a bit of instability? Because let's speak about reality now, between you, between me. If Paul, the octopus, is back, he's the strongest midfielder of all Serie A. Is the strongest midfielder of all Serie A. Top 10 of the world. I'm not exaggerating. Paul Pogba, 30 minutes on one leg, is eating all Serie A. I'm not exaggerating. Physicality, pace, velocity, left foot, right foot, shots from the distance, headers, duels. Pogba is everywhere on the field. Advanced. A bit more on the back, a bit more on the left, a bit more on the right. When you have a Paul Pogba, you know the impact that he has on Serie A. Could he be a help for Juventus? Yes, he could. You can't say that Paul Pogba is not a help for Juve, especially if, like we heard, like we saw, continuing to follow him on social media, he continued to train. Then, of course, if you are far away from the field for long, that's a problem to, again, winning these minutes, these times. Then if he starts training again with the team in January, being ready for March can be an opportunity. I don't know what Juventus will decide. I don't know what Paul Pogba will decide, because let's be honest, if Juventus showed a maximum of support to Niccolò Fagioli, we can't say, even extending Niccolò Fagioli, do you remember, in the most difficult moment of Fagioli, we can't say literally the same of Paul, that of course has another story with Juve. Came back to Juve, full of happiness, full of hope, full of injury, didn't listen to Juve for that injury to actually go for the surgery, but decided first to go with I don't know what kind of therapy, then losing an entire season where he would be probably the reference point of Juve, throwing away his season, probably the one of Juve as well, the one of Max Allegri, that really wanted him, because Pogba, that was really a request, a free request, of course, of Max Allegri. Losing the trust of supporters, losing the trust inside of Juve, and when that case of doping arrived in the beginning after him being called up for Udinese, not even entering the field, doping test that arrived a few weeks later, we can say that Juventus, in a way, they gave up on him. They gave up on him, postponing everything. Paul Pogba, that could potentially come back with a total different Juve than when he left. Not the first time, the second time. Leaving because he was obliged to leave. Because there is no anymore Manna, Allegri, all the people, Marifabene, all the people that decided to bring him to Juventus Football Club. Now you have a Cherubini, you have a Thiago Motta, you have new midfielders. It's a total different story. So what will Juventus do with Paul Pogba? That's the huge big question mark that I think that now they are starting to study to understand what to do with Paul. So I would not be surprised if in a few weeks, if we hear Paul Pogba and Juventus, they found an agreement to split roads. Like, I would not be surprised to say, you know what? We finish the season together. We finish the season together. You can give us a help. Having a Pogba on top on that Club World Cup, we don't say no. Because you like him, you don't like him. History aside, emotions aside, he's the best midfielder of Serie A, without any doubt. Paul Pogba to Juventus. Breaking news. Back for the third time. Let me know what you think here in the comment. And if you didn't yet, because I didn't even ask you, maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe. Grazie, forza. Juve.